In the last few years, actually, markets have been driven very much by monetary policy, and the market is saying that actually a Trump administration is going to put much more emphasis on fiscal policy. I mean, we don't really know what he's going to do, but he's been pretty adamant that tax cuts are a big part of what he's going to do. So tax cuts on the one hand and infrastructure spending on the other is a big change in the sense that it's a shift away from monetary policy towards fiscal policy. And that's something that we haven't seen for several years.
That might be the case, Richard, but at the same time, the Fed already is in catch-up mode, isn't it? I mean, there's a school of thought out there that they should have been, hiking more aggressively than they have been. And now in catch-up mode, there might be that awful situation where suddenly they have to hike fast and aggressively to, counter some of the inflation that could be coming down the pipe. What do you think, Richard?
Well, people always like to second guess what the Fed's going to do. I don't see any particular reason why we should think they're behind the curve so far as 2016 is concerned, because you haven't seen a pickup in inflation. But clearly the market is speculating that inflation is going to pick up, although bear in mind a rising dollar is actually deflationary. So to the extent that the dollar continues to rise, that actually is tightening monetary policy, which is one of the reasons emerging markets are under pressure. So there's a bit of a disconnect between the market saying, look, inflation is going to rise in the US, but also the dollar's going to go up, because you're going to have one or the other, not both.